After a much-needed night of rest, we woke up to a beautiful sunny day. We had breakfast, packed our video equipment, and headed out towards the COSTA region in the southeast coast. Our 3-hour trip took us from 55 degrees at the highest point of the mountain range to a hot and humid 90 degrees at the coast. We were very eager to meet Pastor Carlitos and find out more about his ministry. We finally arrived at our destination. We were greeted in the street by a young man who confirmed, to our relief, that Pastor Carlitos was home with his family enjoying his day off. He lives in the bottom floor of a very simple house. After a brief introduction, we met Pastor Carlitos and his family and sat down in his living room where we talked about family, ministry, and mission.
The ones who are winning over to evangelize.
Pastor Carlitos made the decision to follow Christ when he was 17 years old. He and his wife Jasenia are passionate about God and the people they're called to. You can hear it in their stories and how they care for the community. They have 2 churches in the COSTA region. Their passion for the lost keeps them moving. They're not satisfied with their congregation just sitting and learning on Sundays. Pastor Carlitos trains them to go and reach the lost and dying. They live next to one of those churches in the town of Indiana. This church is right next to a banana plantation. Carlitos took us on a tour where they worship and showed us the upgrades they had already made. But even with improvements, you could see that the church building still needs a lot of work. And while the building holds 70+ people, services are over by 10 a.m. because the heat becomes unbearable. After spending some time in Indiana, he took us to the other church in Cairo, some 15 minutes away, and this is where we really saw Pastor Carlitos light up. Even though this worship space was small, they fit about 120 people in this location. So we're standing here in the church in Cairo. They have about 150 people that worship here. And this is a very bare minimum church. You can see the walls, they're not really even walls or tarps on the side. And it's just a very bare place. But what they're looking at doing is purchasing another piece of land, and we'll be able to either help fix up this place here, or we'll be able to help them move this entire structure over to another part that'll have even more visibility and give them even more access to people. So that's what they're doing here. I mean, they're reaching so many people, and this is such a great neighborhood for them, and for them to have a nice place to worship, it's going to draw even more people in as well. Not to mention everything that they're doing individually with the people in this neighborhood and the people that God has called them to. So, what a great place. What we saw here touched us. God is moving and changing people's lives and is using Pastor Carlitos and his ministry in a mighty way. They really do so much with so little. We were very excited to think of all the possibilities of our mission trip in 2016 and how we can help this church grow even further. Pastor Carlitos was equally excited and thankful for the opportunity to partner with us. In the next few hours, we looked at calendars and discussed details of what our mission trip would look like. We had an intense and very productive day. I felt God had given us direction and a project worth our time and investment. Our summer plans were starting to take shape. Just before heading back to San Jose, we prayed for Pastor Carlitos, his family, and ministry.
And everything in all areas of their life.
I want to invite you to be a part of what God is doing here in Costa Rica. And I want to challenge you to be a part of one of our teams. Not only will you be able to see people's lives changed here in Costa Rica, but after this trip, your life will never be the same.